Hi guys, welcome back to Vintology by Lola. I know it has been a hot minute. Well, between school, grandkids, retiring, and working at a quilt store, videos have not been my number one thing. But this has been asked about and requested from several people on junk journaling know-how or learn how. And so I thought I would show you. I posted this on Instagram and I posted it on Facebook yesterday, and I had a lot of questions. So I'm going to start with the first thing, then I'm going to show you the second thing, and then I'm going to actually show you how I made the second thing. Okay, so the first thing was I had made these clips, right? And I had taken vellum, I had taken fabric, I had taken lace. Anyway, you get the idea. And the biggest question I've had is, what are these and how did I make these? Okay, well, to be completely honest, I bought these at a garage sale. And when I saw them, that's the first thing I thought was, oh, these would make really great clips for my junk journals. And so they came in this box, and I have a feeling it's very old because these are really super heavy for paper clips. These are not cheap little paper clips, okay? So I did a little looking around, and they, even though they don't say it on here, they are called butterfly clips, okay? I just put in ideal paper clamps into Amazon, and it came up. They're still made. They are rather expensive. I was a little shocked at the price. So if you want them, know that you're not going to get a box of 50. You're going to get like 12 of them. So this is what they look like. Okay. And all I did was I basically looked at this, eyeballed it, took a pair of scissors, cut it. And I don't really do a lot of cutting with fabric. I do a lot of ripping. But of course, it's not going to tear today because I'm trying to show you, right? Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then what I did was I slipped it in through here, measured it so that it was roughly the same size, right? And then all I did was use some of my 3-in-1 Beacon glue, smeared it out on here, and then I decided how I was going to embellish it. So I just took, this is 49th and Market. It happened to be left over from a kit that I had. I took some lace, I put it on there. This was an old stamp. And this one I actually used some tissue paper. I wouldn't do that again. That was really it because it doesn't move very well. But anyway, and then this same thing, same kit. And then I did it on pink vellum. And then you just slip them into your book, right? And there's just really nothing to it, you guys, okay? It was more the fact that no one had seen these paper clips, okay? So you can make them and do whatever you want with them. I mean, that's just kind of what I did, okay? The second thing that people said that they wanted to know how I made, or they were going to say they were going to use them as ornaments, and they were going to use them as, they were actually going to use them as necklaces. And when I made mine, I said I was just going to use mine as embellishments for my book. So they are just large paper clips, and it is a paper clip charm. And I will show you how I made them after I show you. So here's one, and I used Timmy's little, I call it Instant Family, but his miniature people, right? And you can see that's the back. This is the front. Here's another one. Okay. This one I thought would turn out really sweet. This I put just a little vintage glass button on. And then this is all just seam binding. And then that was a miniature piece. And then I just put some dangles on the end of every single one of them. Here's a little girl with some gems and some lace. So you get the idea. So what you can use, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to tell you kind of what I did for my supply list. I bought nothing for this. This was all in my stash. So as I said, you can use Timmy's people. And these are just a couple of them. I want to say you get like 50 of them in a package with the mini people. So I have all of these, right? You don't have to use the whole person. You can cut off some of the leg if you want. Or you can cut like this one. I would cut this one in half and probably use the little girl, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing was I just went through my snippets from Timmy. and found some stuff. And then I also had some stuff that I printed out, and I used that. I went through that, and I just kind of found stuff that I thought would work really well with it, okay? Then I pulled out my paper clips. This is how I have my paper clips. So this is the size. It is not a small one. It is one like this, okay? The other thing that you're going to need is you will need a garment pin. Some people call them bulb pins, but they are actually garment pins. That's what they're called. And they come, you can get them at Hobby Lobby. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them just about anywhere anymore, because they used to be harder to find, but they aren't anymore. Then I just went through, I was looking for really tiny words, because even some of Timmy's words were too big. I happen to have this Reset Girl, which I think is a planner set. I don't know. And so what I did was I looked for words that were appropriate. So I cut the stickers out so that it would fit on my girl or my boy, whoever I was doing. Then I just kind of started looking through some of my charms and what was going to work. So I had hearts. Here's some more hearts. Here's some of Timmy's. These are older hearts. Some of them have people in them. You remember you buy them and then you make them. There's a sticker, and then there's a plastic piece that goes over it to protect it. Okay, so I just kind of went starting through looking for things that I liked that I would make it work. And you will need a jump ring to put on the charm on the bottom. And the other thing that I had told people that I did was I really had some beautiful fabric, but not really enough to make anything specific, like a purse, a pouch, you know, a baby blanket, nothing. So what I did was I made my own washi tape. So this is my own washi tape. And if you ask me how to make it, it is so stinking simple. So all I did was lay out carpet tape, which is tape, it's sticky on both sides of the tape. And I laid my piece of fabric on it, and then I took a roto cutter and I did it flush against here, against the side. So there's the tape, right? And so then you have this to use whenever you want. So I thought, oh, I've got all that fabric washi tape. That would be a great base. So I will get into showing you how to do it now. Okay, so here's my paper clip. I'm gonna move all this stuff. This is what I chose for my fabric piece, okay? And I'll show you how I make it. And you guys, I'm used to teaching in person, not online, so I may not be talking through this because I may be doing it. So here's what I did. Here's my paper clip, up and down, right? I measured it and I cut it. So then all I did was take off an end, okay? And as I said, you know, the camera's on, so of course it's not gonna work. Are you kidding me? Okay. So here we go. Hallelujah. Okay, so I have it like this. And all I'm going to do is I laid mine down like this, and I put it right in the middle, just like that. And then I was really careful when I started wrapping it because I wanted it to be semi-even from this end to this end. So you can't just wrap it willy-nilly. And so I wrapped it just a couple times. Right? You don't have to use all of it, and that's the beauty of this tape, right? And as I did it, I was pressing it on the inside. Now, when I decided that that was enough, I cut a little bit more than half because I wanted it, I'll show you in a second. Get rid of this. I wanted to put my glue on. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to stay, and I'm almost at the end of this bottle here. So I'm not putting a lot, you see, I'm just putting a little bit, but that's going to ensure that that stays tight, and then I'm going to wrap it around, okay, just like that. And that's what's nice about the Fabri-Tac or Beacon 3-in-1, which quite frankly, I don't know what the difference is. They're just two different names. Okay, so there's the start of your paper clip dangle. Now, when I was talking before, I was talking about how I colored my people. And I know that this is not how you're supposed to use Timmy's stuff, but this is how I use it. Okay, so I would go in here like this and do her dress, right? Because this is her dress, like this. And before it dries, I just start swiping it. And why do I start swiping it? Mostly because I don't need it to be that bright red. I just need it to be kind of pink, right? And then I usually take my finger and get it off her face, right? And then I just keep wiping till I get what I want. If I take off too much, I can always use the marker again. But it just gives it a little bit more interest, okay? Then while I have her off, I haven't put her on there yet, I found a word, and I like this one. It's adorable. That's the name of the word since she's holding a teddy bear. And I have found that it just works this way. I'm just going to take my dauber with vintage photo, and I just go around really quick because I don't like the white around the photos. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Now, here's this. So what I did was before I started doing that, I decided how did I want to put her on there? Was there anything else I wanted to put on there? Well, what I wanted to do first, after I did that, was I wanted to find a bulb pin that matches it. So I decided to do pink. She's just going to be pink, right? Oh, and that's the other thing. I don't think it makes any difference, but I try to keep the seam in the back. So then I'm going to put that on, right? Okay, so I've already decided that's going to be. I've decided that this is going to be my charm because everything about her is pink. So I'm just going to take this with my jump ring, and I already opened it, stick it in the hole here, right? And I'm going to put it on here. And of course, I don't do it the way you're supposed to. I just use my thumbnail. Okay, and it's backwards. So I don't care. There it is. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm ready to put her on, but if I'm going to put something on before, I need to do it now. Well, I decided I was going to put pink thread on. So this is how I do it. I don't know how anyone else does it. I just wrap it around my fingers till I get what I want. Break it off. And then I usually kind of try to separate it a little bit. And I don't glue it to anything I'm using. I usually glue it to the thing that it's going to be behind. Does that make sense? So I would never glue it onto the pin. I would glue it onto the person. And I feel like I have more control over where it's going to be. And you need very little glue for this. Okay. And so then I'm just going to put that on. And then I usually flip it over and decide how do I want it to look. Well, I kind of wanted it a little bit to look like wings, but I also want it to look kind of messy. So then that's when I sometimes come in with my scissors. And it's not supposed to look perfect. So then I decide where I'm going to put her. I'm probably going to put her right there. You need a good glue and to make sure she's going to stay. And I usually say don't touch it for an hour, just because, of course, it's dry before that. But an hour just ensures that it's really, really set up, okay? And I don't want her to be on there perfect, so I'm going to kind of do it on an angle. I'm going to press down, just like that, okay? Now she's just about done. I don't like just a plain bulb pin. That's just kind of who I am. So I decided that I was going to put this kind of a combination between. So if you're someone like me, and I just kind of use whatever I've got around to stick it through the top of the paper clip. Okay. Stick it through the top of the paper clip like that, as well as going through the bulb pin, right? So you can see it kind of goes through both. And then all I do is I just do one tie. I don't do a knot, I just tie it. And as you can see, this is like, if it were me, it wouldn't bother me, but because it looks like I'm butterfingers while I'm doing this, which I'm not usually. Okay, so there's that. And then I just kind of play with it till I get it the way I want it to look, because it's going to be on like that. So then I'm going to do this. And I kind of like it so it's a little behind her, you know, and that's going to be like that. And then this is where I clean it up. And I always cut everything on an angle or a diagonal, I guess, whatever. And then this side, and I try not to make them even, okay? And if you don't like that, you just kind of play with it till you get it the way you like it, right? Because you can do it like that. And with her, I want it to be behind her. So, And if you don't like that, you can always do it just on the bulb pin. You don't have to do it on the piece of the paper clip. You don't have to do it on this part. You can just do it on this part. So that is how easy that is, you guys. I'm almost embarrassed to show you because it's so stinking easy. So you can have fun making these, and you use whatever you have. That was the idea when I was crafting on Wednesday. I said, I'm just going to use whatever I have. I'm not going to go buy anything. I'm just going to play. And sometimes you come up with the best ideas when you just play. So hopefully this will start me back on the path to making videos again. And I will be back to show you some of the journals I've made and some of the stick pins I've been making. And I've been doing some wool applique because that's big at the quilt shop that I work at. Buttermilk Basin, give them a look. We are a fabulous destination quilt store. As far as everything else goes, it's great. Hope you are great. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by and to watch this quick little video. Hope you have a great evening, guys. Bye.